Kishimoto is currently foreshadowing another omnipotence-like event, where Kawaki takes another W and continues going down his dark path. If you piece up everything that we are currently seeing, you would see that this is the path that we are going towards, the path that will lead towards the end of the age of Shinobi. Because Kawaki's situation is one of weakness right now. He reminds me a bit of Kawaki without the karma. Kawaki without the karma was always getting dogged. He was getting bullied by all his various opponents. But when he has the karma, it's something else. However, in the time skip, it seems like he's gotten too comfortable being the young lord. He got all that clout, all that attention, all the good food that he didn't used to get at Jigen's place. He wasn't getting bullied and hurt by all the people around him. Now he had that comfortable life, and he had that life for about 3 years. And it seems that he has gotten complacent, as we have 3 occasions in the time skip already within 8 chapters of Kawaki getting dogged. The first instance occurred when he was stomped. One of the clawgrams literally grabbed Kawaki and pushed him to the ground and made him eat dirt. A lot of people were like, yo, this doesn't really matter, he was caught off guard, so this one doesn't count. But then we have the other instances. We have Mitsuki, who then in chapter 6 ends up sleeping Kawaki. He walks up to Kawaki behind Kawaki, asks that he's going to have a chill conversation, and ends up poisoning Kawaki. This especially is where all the fraud allegations started to appear, because the old Kawaki would have never let something like this truly happen. We saw in the anime when a kid who was walking by touched Kawaki, Kawaki was about to kill him. Kawaki was about to take his life. But now we have Kawaki who ends up getting poisoned and backstabbed by Mitsuki and put to sleep. This was so bad that when he wakes up, he can still feel the effects of Mitsuki's poison. But a lot of people gave Kawaki yet another pass. They were like, yo, Kawaki was backstabbed by Mitsuki. He must have thought that Mitsuki would never do something like this, so this feat doesn't count. But now we have Kawaki's performance versus Jura and Hidari, and this is what I expected. And a lot of fans really think that Kawaki's performance versus Jura and Hidari, especially Hidari, was a good performance, and this clearly isn't the case. And let me explain why. Kawaki first popped up and threw rods at Hidari. Hidari, who was paying attention to Jura, having a conversation with Jura, so it could be argued that he was off guard, he still was able to dodge Kawaki's attack. And then we have Kawaki, who unshrinks himself and goes to go hit Hidari. A lot of people think, oh, Kawaki got a good hit on Hidari, but if you pay close attention, throughout that whole encounter, Hidari actually blocked Kawaki's move. That's why he doesn't fall to the ground, because Hidari was simply able to shrug that punch away and regain his balance. Same thing goes with Jura, and it's a lot more embarrassing. Kawaki and Jura hit each other's fists, and then we have Kawaki's fists that end up exploding. Kawaki, who had put all that artificial tech all around his arm so that he could amplify his power, Jura simply hit his fist, and Kawaki's fist was the one to end up blowing up. Then Jura has the perfect opportunity to hit Kawaki, who is stumbling, and he ends up hitting Kawaki and making him hit the tank reservoirs that we have seen all throughout the Naruto series. These feats that we're seeing off Kawaki at the current moment aren't anything too special, and especially that clawgram one. A lot of people have come up with the best memes when it comes to Kawaki getting dogged by that clawgram. But as we can currently see, Kawaki is not in the best state in the time skip so far. Kawaki is strong, don't get me wrong, he's top 5 strongest in the series at the current moment, but the competition isn't anything too crazy. Obviously, we're not going to compare Kawaki to Sarada at the moment. We know nothing about Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan abilities, and we haven't seen too much of her, but Kawaki has inherited Ishiki Otsutsuki's karma in the form of power, so there really isn't too much of an excuse for Kawaki to have at the moment. And this is what really scares me. A lot of people are complaining about, oh, Kishimoto makes Kawaki look so weak, but remember Kawaki at his peak. Part 1 Kawaki, the Kawaki that everybody feared, who would go around and do whatever. Kishimoto is the same guy who wrote Kawaki in that way, where everybody was saying at the time that Kawaki is too strong and and he seems like the MC, and Boruto is too weak and seems like a regular side character. That's what a lot of people were saying, especially after Kawaki's strong performance and him killing Boruto in the series. But now we're seeing that flipped, and it clearly means that it is intentional. Boruto is the one who is viewed as too strong, while everybody is complaining that Kawaki is weak. This just tells us that you can't make everybody happy, but it is also a pattern that we must pay attention to. Kawaki, before getting his new karma from Amado, he had lost the karma, and thus we saw Kawaki appear quite weak. A Kawaki who got dogged by Code, a person that nobody respects, and he also got dogged by Momoshiki who took over his body and made Kawaki go through something that was quite traumatic. Not only did Momoshiki completely beat Kawaki, but he literally broke his arm, proceeded to fold his hands while beating up Kawaki, indicating that he wasn't trying at all, but he also almost killed Naruto, and without the karma, Kawaki couldn't protect Naruto, and when he did end up getting the karma, he was then able to pack up Boruto real quick and save Naruto. This pattern shows us something. Kawaki is driven into a corner and gains some sort of power. The karma is not the main focus. The main focus is power. So Kawaki with no power is weak and gets bullied. So when Kawaki has power, he realizes that he now has the option of choosing to be the one who is bullying people or the one who is getting bullied. And Kawaki chose the latter when it came to Boruto and Momoshiki. He chose to be the one who is proactive in preventing anything from happening to Naruto. Thus, he continued to go down the path of killing Boruto, leading to the omnipotence. But all of that shows that when Kawaki is driven into a corner, bad stuff really starts to happen. And all of this is hinting at this actually taking place in the future. As if you pay attention to the conversation that Shikamaru and Boruto have, after Boruto defeats Mitsuki, you would start getting scared. Not only do they talk about the fact that omnipotence is probably not going to get reversed anytime soon, and that Boruto simply doesn't care. Boruto is that guy, he's comfortable living this way. But that's not the main part that truly scares me. Just to summarize it so we won't go into deep, but they also talk about Kawaki's situation, with Boruto who says that he doesn't want to kill Kawaki and simply wants to beat him up to the point where he understands, similar to what Naruto used to say about Sasuke. But Boruto also adds something else that Shikamaru agrees with. They come to the conclusion that they shouldn't do too much right now so that Kawaki doesn't get pushed to a corner like he did before. Kawaki in the past was pushed to a corner, and that led to omnipotence. So what Boruto fears is that the same thing happens again. Everybody starts figuring out that Kawaki lied about everything that is going on, and thus Kawaki is pushed to a corner. And the reason why Shikamaru and Boruto are not just gonna go and gang up on Kawaki, one, that is not Boruto's goal. Boruto is trying to redeem Kawaki, but we have other people like Ida and Damien who are low-key on Kawaki's side. Kawaki, when he was in trouble, the person who helped him was Ida, and they don't want a similar situation to happen, because if that power was able to do something so great as to causing everybody to see Boruto as Kawaki now, and Kawaki as Boruto, what could be the next thing to happen? And with omnipotence being such a godly power, they're not going to take any risk. But nevertheless, this entire conversation foreshadows what I am talking about. Another omnipotence-like event where Kawaki is pushed to a corner and something crazy ends up happening. In the past, it was omnipotence, and Boruto and Kawaki's life ended up getting reversed. Kawaki scarred Boruto's eye, but all these various things. But now, Kawaki is a lot stronger. The village is a lot less safe. So what will the next omnipotence-like event truly be? Because seeing what is happening right now with Boruto, with people like Jiraiya and Hidari being able to come up to the village randomly, we're starting to see that the village under Shikamaru, a guy who is smart and is strong on a certain level, he just can't compete with those 1%ers like Jiraiya, Hidari, Boruto, Damon, Kawaki. He cannot rival that sort of power. So he is really ineffective when it comes to protecting the village at his full power. Kawaki is really that guy who is low-key the Hokage in strength for the village, because he is way stronger than Shikamaru. But that's not a good thing at all. Because when there comes to be a moment where Kawaki needs to be put in check, nobody is going to be able to do that. And when I say nobody, I mean Shikamaru. As the head of the Lee village, he is not going to be able to do anything if Kawaki is to go against him. So what exactly is going to be the potential options that Kawaki could do if he is pushed to another level? The clear push that we're currently seeing and what is being foreshadowed is that Jura in some type of way will traumatize Kawaki to the same level as Momoshiki and everybody did that caused and led to omnipotence. Because Jura, as Damien said, when he does come to the village, asking where Naruto is, something that is not a part of omnipotence, so the lie will not be fixed by omnipotence and their memories. What are you going to do, Kawaki? Jura has already embarrassed Kawaki physically. He dominated him. So what if he reveals his secret that Kawaki has been trying to hide for a while now? Kawaki being traumatized and him going deeper into that dark path is exactly what will lead to the end of Shinobi. So there are 3 possible theories, and the last one is the one I believe will happen that will lead to Kawaki being traumatized and then committing a reckless action. And the first theory is one that deals with Kawaki joining Jura. We know that Jura and Kawaki to some extent have the same goal. Jura's goal as the Shinshu, as the divine tree, is to go on and get more Otsukis. Kawaki's goal, as he said in chapter 77, is to destroy all of the Otsukis using his own power. So if Kawaki is able to strike up a deal with Jura where he says, you will have my life after we get rid of all these Otsukis, then he may be able to work with Jura, and him working with Jura will definitely lead to some major changes and could be the reason why Boruto is so confused at some of the options that Kawaki has chosen. That is a possibility, and I've heard a lot of people discuss this, but knowing Kawaki's pride, I don't see Kawaki as the type of person to join another person's team for power. I know that Kawaki isn't the most prideful person that we have seen, but I don't really see Kawaki joining the Shinshu. But based on the information we know right now, Kawaki joining Jura's group doesn't really seem as the most beneficial option for Jura at all, as he doesn't really need Kawaki, who is clearly way weaker than he is. So I don't really see this as the main option for the moment. Some people have said that Kawaki and Jura will fuse on some level, and this would crack the problem of Kawaki being so weak, and that's why in the time skip he appears so weak, and Boruto asks him if this was truly the only option that Kawaki had. This is a good theory, and I don't really have too much to say of whether it is bad or not, but I don't really see that happening. I don't really see Kawaki and Jura ending up fusing together on some Dragon Ball Z type vibe, and I don't think we have really seen that a lot. I know that he is an incarnation of the Tentails, so maybe we could have something like that, but I really don't see Kishimoto going down the path of absorption. And to be completely honest, when it comes to Jura, I really don't know what his plans are and what exactly he wants to do, as his main entrance doesn't seem to be Kawaki. So that's not what I believe would truly lead to Kawaki going down that wrong path and being pushed to the corner. Obviously, Jura's appearance into the village is going to be a main fact, but the act that will be the catalyst for everything going down is what Kawaki ends up doing with Shikamaru. As I have said, Kawaki is way stronger than Shikamaru, and there will come a certain point where Kawaki truly realizes to follow any of Shikamaru's instructions. So he will get rid of Shikamaru. Pushed at a corner, Kawaki will then decide to kill Shikamaru, and this is the act that I believe that Kawaki will make when he is pushed to a corner, and this act will change the village entirely. As I believe that after Kawaki commits such an act, he will go towards Amado. In my personal opinion, Delta flying doesn't really tell us that Kawaki has already given Delta the karma. So I don't believe Delta already has the karma, and you guys already know my reasonings. Delta was able to fly way before, so I don't think Delta has been given the karma. However, when Shikamaru is put out of the picture and Kawaki realizes that it's not the karma and power is the only thing that allows him to be a winner in life, Then he will turn toward Amado and ask Amado for power. Amado will be the first person to tell Kawaki that, yo, I got you with the power, but you need to give Delta the karma. Kawaki, pushed to a corner, will end up doing just that, giving Delta the karma. I don't know exactly what Kishimoto has planned with Amado, so I won't discuss that, but through that, they will rebuild the village in some sort of way, with Amado at the center, the scientist that will slowly, just like he did with Kara, start giving these guys some level of technological advancement to the way that Shinobi work. Although we have seen a lot of technological changes, at the root cause, everything is still ninjutsu based, and we haven't really seen a lot of technology changes when it comes to Shinobi in general. Obviously, there's the ninja tools that have been starting to come out, but we really haven't seen a crazy change in the technology that the Shinobi use. Well, I believe that when Shikamaru is out of the picture and Kawaki and Amado are those guys going crazy, Kawaki, through the help of Amado, will change the society and the village in general, leading to an era where Shinobis really don't exist. And that's why I believe there's a level of change in the Kawaki that we see in the time skip right now and the Kawaki that we see in that flash forward scene in the first episode of Boruto. Not only do they have different clothing, Kawaki looks a lot more mature in that first flash forward scene that we saw in episode 1. So I think there could be a time skip to some extent where we see the village change in some way. During all of this, it means that Boruto is really going to be the guy going through a lot of struggle, as if Kawaki is led to do all of these different things, it means that something may have happened to Boruto. And when we talk Boruto, we have to be talking about Momoshiki. So I definitely believe that Momoshiki may play a part into Boruto not being there to help the village for a certain period of time. But to find out how Momoshiki could have a good influence in the time skip, watch this video right here.